So, you got a Yelan. Here's a quick Yelan DPS support build. Yelan is simply put a 5-star version of one of the best 4-stars in the game, Xingqiu, but extremely better. She can provide amazing support by providing damage buffs as well as provide an amazingly high amount of damage with her own burst, which pairs well with almost any DPS in the game. Weapon. Aqua Simulacra is her signature and obviously her best weapon. This weapon buffs Yelan's HP, which in turn increases her overall damage. Along with the crit damage substat, this should be a no-brainer. For 5-star alternatives, you can use the Polar Star, the Elegy of the End, although I would recommend the Elegy as Yelan thrives at being a DPS support and is generally not going to do any auto attacks. So the Elegy's buff, as well as its energy recharge substat, would make it a more useful weapon for overall team synergy. For 4-star alternatives, you may use Stringless for the percentage ability buff, Favonius Warbow, or Fading Twilight for energy recharge, and even the 3-star weapon, Recurve Bow. Due to Yelan's ability damage only scaling on HP percentage, this bow can actually perform pretty well on her as it grants a massive HP percentage buff at level 90 refinement. Artifacts. As a support DPS, having high uptime on her burst as well as getting as much damage increase to her burst damage should be priority. For this reason, Emblem of Severed Fate is her most preferable artifact set. The energy recharge and damage increase based on the energy recharge is a great combo to ensure that you're always using your burst while dealing good damage. Alternatively, you may also use Noblesse Oblige, although you may have another character like Bennett in your team that's already running this, but if you're not, this is also a great item to increase her burst damage as well as buff your teammates. Your stat priorities are HP Sands, Hydro Damage Goblet, and Critical Damage Circlet. Just try to make sure your critical rate is at least over 50%. Your substat priorities are crit rate, crit damage, HP percentage, and energy recharge. Constellations. Like all of my quick build guides, this works with 0 constellation. But if you are going for constellations, C2 Yelan is in my opinion where her damage spike as a support damage dealer will rise, as this further increases her burst damage further based on her HP. Talents. As a burst DPS build, your priorities are as follows. Elemental Burst first, as the bulk of your damage will come from this ability and should be available when you're using your primary damage dealer for some amazing elemental reactions. Elemental Skill next, as this allows Yelan to do some huge damage on her own while using her Lingering Lifeline. Try it with some Vaporize combos and see for yourself. And Normal Attack last. You don't even really need this unless you're building an auto-attacking Yelan, you freaking madman. Here's the build in action using a Bennett, Xingqiu, and Yanfei.
Off we go. I'm going in. Ring cutter, know my sword. Things are about to get dicey. Quietly.
The more you know. Subscribe or I'll feed Yelan so much garlic that her armpits are going to become stinky.